My name is Liz Burrows. I'm 50 years old now, but I was diagnosed when I was 28 years old with FSHD Muscular Dystrophy.
Debbie Healy-Jones, one of the Healy girls, and I was diagnosed in, I think I was around 42.
Because it's been a long, drawn out, dragged out, many years of my family dealing with this. But now my biggest fear, and the thing that really motivated me most, was my son got diagnosed last year.
I'm Jimmy Burrows, I'm 20 years old, and I was diagnosed with FSHD when I was 18. I was pretty scared actually, because at first I was just so nonchalant about it. And then as I was reading more and more, I could realize how serious it could be, and I really never knew that's the type of thing my mom dealt with, because she was always so strong about it, and my aunts were always so strong about it.
It's hard to admit that there's that disease that's going through the fourth generation of the Healys, you know, it's tough.
And I love to play basketball, I love to play softball, football, and that's the biggest thing, is you need mobility and strength in your upper arms and your back, and that's the scariest part for me. In my like shoulders, upper back, trying to hold my arms out for an extended period of time, that's the biggest thing that I notice. And I guess I noticed that my arms get sore more quickly now when I play basketball or softball with my friends or something like that. I notice soreness a lot sooner now than I ever had when I was younger.
And luckily for us, we ran into Jennifer and we joined up with her, and she had doctors involved and NICOM Center, and they were all very excited to meet Jimmy. And that's when I had him diagnosed, was when we had doctors that knew the disease and were willing to research the disease and to work with us. And that's what we need, is people to be aware, and we need doctors to pay attention. And hopefully we can get treatment and ultimately a cure. That's my goal.
I'm Jennifer Burgess. I'm 42 years old. I was diagnosed with FSHD at the age of 23. Basically, when you're diagnosed with FSHD, a physician tells you to go home and just wait for your symptoms to progress. I started the Long Island FSHD Foundation out of frustration. At the time that I was pregnant, I also had my son tested. I had an amnio for other reasons, and we decided to do the test for FSHD at the time, and that came back positive. And I basically panicked, because I knew that in those 9 years, almost a decade, not very much had been done to find a cure or a treatment for this disease. That just wasn't good enough for me. It wasn't acceptable to tell my son that he has a disease that I gave him, that I passed on to him, and I can't help him with it. You know, it's unacceptable for a disease like FSHD, where it seems that nobody cares, where maybe we can find an answer. Maybe there is a cure. In the spring of 2010, Chris's friend, Tom Papa, contacted me. He told me that he had a friend who had FSHD and was thinking of starting a foundation. Finally, one day, Chris called me, and we had a really long conversation and decided to work together and collaborate to form the Chris Carrino Foundation.
I first started to feel the effects of FSHD my college years. In hindsight, there were things we could look back on earlier, but obviously we didn't know anything about FSHD at the time. When you have a doctor tell you for the first time that you have muscular dystrophy, it is a punch to the gut. I didn't want to be perceived as different in any way. And especially, you know, being a professional sportscaster, it's such a competitive business, and I didn't want to have a positive or a negative effect either way. You know, I wanted to make it on my own, and I didn't want people to not let me do things or treat me in a preferential way because I had it. I just wanted to do my job. But in the summer of 2010, I remember Jennifer forwarding me an email about the breakthrough that had been made in FSHD research. And that was the kind of thing that gave me hope for the first time in thinking in terms of a cure and a treatment, and that we might be able to end this in my lifetime. In the back of my mind, I always thought about starting a foundation. The best way to try and help myself and help other people is to actively go out and pursue research scientists raise money and try and draw attention to FSHD and find a treatment and a cure. Take an active role in going out and trying to find a solution for this. And that's why we started the Chris Carrino Foundation for FSHD. I literally got emails from all over the world when we launched the website and the foundation, but one that I got from a mother in Mississippi really stood out for me. Her son, his name's Caleb, he was diagnosed when he was 14, and now he's a senior in high school. So, eventually I spoke to him, and I told him, as you get physically weaker, you need to become mentally stronger and push through it. And he told me he liked that, and he was going to write it down and look at it and live by that. I was able to live 2 decades of my life without knowing what FSHD was. And I love the fact that I was able to have a childhood where I didn't worry about any restrictions. Obviously my son hears about it, and we're going to worry about that when we come to it. I wanted to just have a normal childhood. Before I came here to shoot this video, my son came up to me. He's 7 years old, and he says to me, in his very happy-go-lucky way that he has about him, he says, "Dad, if I grow up one day and I have muscular dystrophy, I don't have to worry about it because I really won't have muscular dystrophy." He said, "Because there's going to be a cure." He said, "There's going to be a cure because of your foundation." And I don't know. I don't think if you could look for anything more motivating than that.